Yeah, Naudé, winemaker at Naudé Wines, family wines, which is me and the dogs. Studied here at Elsenburg, where we are currently at. Studied here, then traveled the world for about 10 years, making wine in different countries. Do 2 harvests a year because I had to work here to get money for aeroplane ticket to go to France, Italy, Germany, America, Israel, and Italy. And then came back and then worked a harvest here, and then started working in the industry. My first big job was in Wellington at Linton Park, and then Dornier Wines in Stellenbosch, and then gradually worked my way till 2017. I went on my own with Naudé Wines. And I must be honest, I travel a lot and I see a lot of international wineries and wines and everything. And I think the industry is in incredible safe hands because of a place like Elsenburg, where we as winemakers who's in the industry puts our time back here and kind of pass the baton over to them and show them this is not the only way to do things. And we also tried to get a lot of these young people to go abroad next year and work internationally for a couple of years, but through contacts. And we had a very good place now where the students that's been here 5-6 years ago are actually now the ones who get jobs for these ones. So it's almost that pay it forward type of thing. And we have to, because we're in South Africa. You can't get further south than this. Darling has been known for mostly Sauvignon Blanc and white grapes, but what is interesting is lately we found that you get things like Cinsault, Grenache, your more classic style reds, not your full-bodied heavy things that you get in Swartland, because it's on this side and it's a lot more decomposed granites as well, and not clay soils. I saw this beautiful 42-year-old vineyards at that stage. I just thought southern France, southern Rhone, those wines that you would sit in Nice and Monaco on the beach and drink. And I thought we need to do something with this grapes. Cinsault in South Africa, mass production, horrible. That's why I never thought of making a Cinsault, because I thought this is how the grapes is. And then I found out when I started working with it in the vineyard and I tasted it through the season, ripening season, and I thought, this is amazing. It's this crisp, fresh, but dignity with classicness, which I never picked up on these things. When you taste South African proper made Cinsault, it's got that Turkish delight rose petal, cherry flavor almost, but then turn into a classic wine. It's not about me. It's about that vineyard. And I think the moment you get to that, you actually understand winemaking. That you're just the lucky guy who can understand that story and put it in a bottle. It's like any person, you have to spend time with them, to understand all the sides of them, to understand all the moods, all the changes, where are they heading, why are they heading there. And I always feel why I'm excited now is with old vines in South Africa. As Old Vine showed me, I've been in this area for 50 years. I've survived droughts, I survived floods, I survived crazy winemakers, I survived drunk tractor drivers, and then you want to manipulate me to show what style of wine I should make or give you. For me, it is that respect thing, that's something that stood on the same spot for 50 years in 42 to 45 degrees Celsius and in really cold situations and in droughts, has got their own story to tell. And I think that's what old vines is different. They survived They've got more to give. And then they've done studies at Stellenbosch University for many years, and nobody can get to an answer, because always people would ask you, is all old vines, will it always make good wine? No. And my best answer as a winemaker is, not all old people are nice people. It depends on your terroir. From the drought, you actually learned that drought brings better quality, because the more you struggle, the deeper you have to go. And you could easily see some wines from the 2-3 years in the drought was exceptional, because winemakers as well, we only get to our best when we kind of struggle. When things comes to easy, we don't put in all that effort. As a winemaker, you always know you're as good as your last vintage, but you also have to live with the land, and you have to learn from that. And unfortunately, through droughts, you learn how to make the best wine. We don't have the luxury of 14 generations of this winery, and this is how it works, and there's millions behind you, and you just carrying the torch to the next guy. You have to innovate, understand, learn, and adapt. And I think that's what makes this country so exciting.